with this thing.
Hi everyone, it's FC.Liverpool, everything about Liverpool. Got great guests on, got one daughter with me, Francine. She's with me, she'll be talking about football. And she does know her stuff, actually. Got George Scott on, he'll be coming on in exactly 2 minutes. Tommy Batty, unfortunately, won't be here, he's at a party. He's like the Alan Wicker of, honestly, he's like the Alan Wicker of Merseyside. He's just everywhere. Then Marios Manzos will be coming on and joining us. And I'll look at him with this man here. I just want to say hello to Daryl. Frankie, hiya Daryl. Thanks, cheers, mate. Cheers. Lovely man. Lovely man. Yes, man, Klopp. Yeah, unfortunately, we'll be talking about all this when we start, the show properly. Anyway, I'm going to bring in one of the great men, the Shankly Lost Boy himself. And there he is, it's George. Hey, George.
Hiya, Frank. Hello there. Hi, Francine. Nice to see you.
Are you okay? Nice
well.
to see you.
Yeah, up there along with your dad. Brilliant. You all right, Frank?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Got here with me, and so we'll be talking. George, I said to our Francine just before, I said, have we signed the other fella here, Lavia? And she said no. And has it got you worried, George?
It has, yeah. It's a bit embarrassing, I think, to be honest, Frank. I was reading Jamie Carragher today. Even Jamie's saying he's a bit embarrassed by it. He doesn't understand it, neither do I.
Yeah.
They keep on fishing out information out of 45 million, 46 million add-ons. Been going on for a number of weeks now, and the boy wasn't playing against Sheffield Wednesday the other night, and I don't think he's playing tonight. So obviously something's going on. But I just don't understand. I said last week, if you want him and Jurgen thinks he's the right guy, I don't understand why we're not getting hold of him and just bringing him to Anfield. He wants to come. So we'll have to wait and see what they're doing, if they're doing it under the radar a bit,
Go on, do you want to say something?
Yeah, the thing is, it's like a few million, isn't it? And I know, like, we all love a few million, but when you see it's like 45 and they want 50, what's the difference?
Exactly.
It's like because then it just becomes pedantic, doesn't it? And it's like, just pay it, because it's creeping up slowly anyway. Reading on social media, it looks like they haven't given up the ghost, actually, that they're still pursuing it. So it'll be Liverpool are paying 52 million.
Yeah. Well, I think they're trying to get something about add-ons. I think Southampton want the bulk of the money up front. And looking at the money, 50 million for a 19-year-old boy seems a lot of money anyway. And, Chelsea are going in for people like Casado and big players, they've spent about 750 million in the squad. They've got a squad bigger than the British Army. You know what I mean? And how he's going to fit them into the team, I don't know. The one positive thing, Francine, I think, the game the other night, watching him against the German team, was quite encouraging. I thought, they're a Bundesliga team, they're just being promoted. And I thought Liverpool moved the ball around well. And McAllister looked pretty good in that position. But it's not the answer. We need to we've said this, Frank and I and Tommy and Marios, for weeks. We need a holding midfielder, a number 6. We need some strength in there. We need probably somebody in the back 4 as well. And it's getting very close to the end of the time period. We've got a few days to the first match and then a few weeks to the end of the transfer window. So I can only hope that the club are working behind the scenes and pulling something out of the hat in the next few days. You're frozen, Frank, I think. I think you're frozen.
It's one.
You're frozen. Your picture's frozen.
Yeah.
Ah,
Are we still frozen? Yeah.
No, you're back now. You were frozen for about 10, 15 seconds. Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong. I really don't know what's wrong. I just want to say hello to the Anfield Roar. I want to say hello to thanks a lot, Francine. Good evening, Frank, Francine, and all. Thank you. The Anfield Roar, Charlie Cairns, even if Frank, Francine, and George and all the gang. Yeah, we're the gang now, aren't we?
Hi, Charlie.
Well, the thing is, what Charlie Wood says as well, if we don't want to, just walk away. And that's the problem. We haven't walked away or anything. And Richard Justinson says, hi, Frank, everyone. How are you all doing? Please, FSG, back and fund Klopp to transfers. Congratulations to England women in sport going forward. Many thanks to you. You'll never walk alone. Anyway, it's just becoming farcical. I've said it all along. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Evening all, and Charlie Cairn says, Lorna Blanco, Anfield Roar, well said that, man. It could be you there. Even in Frank and Francine, even in George, hope everyone's well, apart from the lack of transfer activity. Liverpool penny pinching isn't a good look, is it? No. FSG are charlatans, plain and simple, says Stephen Snape. And this is what it's all about.
Right.
Yeah, the time to integrate new signings is rapidly running out. That's what you just said, Francine. So my title tonight is The Rebuild. Seriously. That's it. The rebuild, because we still need, look, 8 players gone. 8 of them.
Yeah.
Two in. There's something desperately wrong. And there's our Marios here, and he's joining us.
Hey,
hi, lads.
How are you looking very
How are you?
Oh. You been on the beach?
Yeah. I'm on holiday. Yes. I'm on holiday. So
nice to see you.
That's why there's a change in the background.
Well, listen, Marios, it's 365 days a year holiday over there in Athens, Greece.
Sorry?
I'm just saying it's 365 days a year holiday in Greece for you.
Yeah, this season was too warm. Even in winter was not so cold. So we're used to this kind of degrees. But this summer is really hot. It's hotter than the usual. So that's a problem. Yeah.
Well, wait till you come over
change.
Here next week, so you'll be okay.
Bring your
yeah.
Bring a big coat.
Bring your raincoat.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I was looking at the weather, and there was really a big change. So
Massive change.
It will be a massive change. Yes.
Charlie Wood says the spin doctors are being out again. We are going to sell Thiago and buy 3 players. 1 out, 3 in. What a load of nonsense. Darryl Merry, a centre-back is a must. And it's a left-sided centre-back. That's what we need, a left-sided one, Darryl.
And that's what a position that we were not hearing anything.
Yeah, and that's where the goals. That's where the goals have been coming from in the practice matches and the pre-season.
Well, that's what I'm going to talk about.
Through the middle. Yeah. Every goal.
Well, that's what I'm going to talk about. The defence, to be honest, I'm going to be talking about that. Just let me get these out the way, and we'll start talking then, because it's all serious. This. The reason, says Richard Hutchinson, the reason why Lavia fee is high is because we are paying for potential. Age fees are increasing and homegrown.
But on that, wouldn't that be a long-term contract anyway? 5 years. It'd be long, wouldn't it? It wouldn't be like a 3-year contract for 50 million. They'll try and span it out as long as possible.
But
if he's only a kid.
Do you know the way I look at it? He's not really experienced for the level we need.
Yeah.
He was with Southampton, so we look good with Southampton because they were a bad side.
Yeah, but McAllister and all these, what's his name, Casado. They bought them from like South America. They'd never heard of them before. They bought them for about 14 million. So sometimes you've got to take chances. But I've been to South America, to be honest.
Do you want to read that?
I can't.
Can't you? Why?
Because I'm blind.
There's your glasses there.
I don't want to wear my glasses, Dad.
I'll read it, Frank. I'll read it. Marios is looking sexy.
I want.
Every time I see him on the live stream with Frank. Here you go, Marios. You got a pin up.
Marios is looking sexy, fit and beautiful every time.
So you're super fit.
You've got a fan club.
You're looking sexy.
And you're beautiful.
And there's nothing down for me and George.
Or me.
Nothing down for me and Tommy. Nothing down for me and Tommy.
I'm looking sexier than our defense.
Oh, brilliant. Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh my God.
Bring your umbrella when you're coming over next week. Says Charlie.
yeah. I'll bring it. Yes.
As a former builder, a rebuild involves putting back what you've lost, says Stephen Snape, and he's right. He's so right.
Yeah.
He's so right. Jake Whittaker. Hi, Frank, Francine, and all boss Reds, says Jake Whittaker. Evening, Jake. It doesn't rain in Liverpool, Marios. It's just polite precipitation, says Stephen Smith. Anyway, Anfield Raw says, I wondered if the panel think, as I do, we are going for Lavia before Endo and Fabinho left. Where we going for them? So why is it FSG are haggling over reaching 50 million? It's already covered by the sales of Endo and Fabinho.
Yeah, well, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is covered by the sales of Fabinho and Hendo, 100%. I agree with what he's saying there. Absolutely spot on. But, we've got the money to cover it. Like I said before, it's a player we want. I don't know why we just don't get him.
I feel that we were after these players anyway. Fabinho had a bad season last season. Reds came out and forced to say that. And Henderson went, didn't he, and said, am I going to get a game? And Klopp told him, not really. We've got all these like-for-like players. And, and I think they've seen that there's going to be a rebuild. Obviously, the money has come into it as well. And they thought, well, do you know what? Cut our losses and we're off. And I think they thought that the midfield was going to be too congested. I mean, because personally, when Milner went, and I know he was old or whatever, but you just don't get rid of your vice captain and your captain within the space of the same season. So, and Klopp didn't want him to go. And I think he's let him go thinking, well, we're going to have this big midfield. We're going to, build on what should have been done since 2020. Personally.
Yeah.
Read Anfield Raw out.
Marios is the more handsome Fabrizio Romano.
He's more handsome than Fabrizio Romano.
More handsome. Got a fan club.
Got a fan club there.
What's going on here? In 8 days, I will be in Liverpool.
Hey.
Yeah. Charlie Wood says, breaking news, Marios is sexier than Frank Carlyle.
Hey, Frank, show them my picture. Show them my picture when I was 21.
I will do.
And mine.
Yeah.
Oh, blimey.
Like one of the Beatles.
But back to seriousness here. Good evening all. Just one word, embarrassed. And that's Paul Burke. And he's so right. He's so right. And it is embarrassing.
It is
Eric
embarrassing
said-
because you've got the likes of Gary Neville talking. I mean, the past couple of days now, it's been Gary Neville talking about Liverpool and, you know, calling out Jamie Carragher because, you know, he's got no affiliation to the club. And he's been saying it for a couple of years that Liverpool haven't built. And Jamie Carragher stayed silent on that. And now Jamie's come out and said it. So, you know, it's give Gary Neville the impetus really to all the time. And it is embarrassing. A club that is what, third richest in the Forbes. It beggars belief. It breaks my heart. So
Reads over.
You're right, Francine.
I'm gonna have to just wear these glasses, aren't I? Soberslide and McAllister incoming isn't enough. Outgoing are Ox, Milner, Keita, Hendo, Fabinho, Bobby, Naf Phillips, Cavello, Reece Williams, Van der Beek. We need reinforcements. Yeah.
But there's
That's
nothing.
self-evident, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's nothing absolute. Listen, people, can you just press the like button? Even the ones who pressed it last week and the week before and whatever. Just press it every week, you know, when we come on, please, just to get the algorithm out there. It helps. That's all. It helps you lot as well, to be honest, because as I said, it costs nothing. It really costs nothing to
Click. What was that?
the 1st of September. FSG will play, and it will be ejected. That's a cracker, that is.
You're not far wrong, is he? Not far wrong.
Absolutely brilliant. Well said.
You know, we all laugh, but I'm tinged with just hard. I mean, I suppose, like last season, I wrote last season off. I couldn't wait for it to end. We had a good little run at the end of the season, didn't we?
Yeah.
But, like, you know, I'm dreading this season. You know, it's good that we're playing Chelsea for first game because that's going to set the precedent, isn't it, of what we, you know, what's to come, really.
Well, Jake Whittaker says, I think he sums everything up for what we're going to say anyway. Talk about FSG aren't going to buy a player for 50 million. They only bought McAllister for 35 and let 12 players go. So Bosley is a great player, but we could have done with another 2 midfielders and a right back.
And a centre back.
Yeah.
And centre back, yes, of course.
Anyway, what we've got these, but everyone is just frustrated. In January, we were told that there would be 250 million to spend on players. Remember that? We were told the summit war chest, as they called it, which is a myth. It's always been a mythical play. 250, and what have we spent? We've spent less than 100 million, haven't we? Oh, 70 million, something like that we've spent. And we brought in, what have we brought in with the sales?
2.
And it's not just that, it's the cost of wages, isn't it? You know, how much have we saved on wages alone?
We've now got the smallest squad in the Premiership, which is it's pathetic. It really is. I want Premier League, FA, FIFA, and men's football. I want the next generation of women and girls to get into football. Women can do more than men. Well, you know, I think that's a bit of a controversial thing, to be honest. But anyways, just please press the like button, please. So listen, Marios.
Yeah.
We've got the smallest squad. We have the smallest squad. This is Liverpool Football Club. This is a team from the British Isles that is more prestigious than anyone else. No, never mind looking around at Man City or United or anybody else. We've won more European Cups than any of them. And yet, we're on a par with the likes of Brentford and Bayern. Aston Villa, who've always finished below us, always have spent more. And this is what I can't make out. How come that they can spend a lot more than we? Arsenal being out in the wilderness for years, all of a sudden they finish in the Champions League for the Champions League spot by finishing second, and they've spent over 200 million. It's just becoming a nightmare for the ordinary Liverpool football fan, and embarrassing.
Yeah.
But FSG are renowned for that anyway. You talk to Red Sox fans, they say the same. Penguin fans say the same. Being honest, and we can go over this over and over again. They're not football fans, sports fans, or whatever. They're investors, the businessmen. Now, you said you didn't like that.
Yes.
The other week you said you didn't like that, and as I was typing it, but they are the hedge funders. They're there to make their board money. LeBron James and whoever else, the mates. They're a bit like the Conservative government during COVID, aren't they? Money for the boys, and we're seeing it now because we know that Liverpool is their biggest asset. The biggest asset. When they go to Singapore, you only have to see the amount of fans they can attract, and there's no way. All I say is there is no way that FSG are going to sell us ever. Too much money, and too much revenue, and then we can attract the likes of Nike and all these other big American conglomerate companies.
Well, yeah, let's discuss this one. I will discuss everyone else's, like the Anfield or like Stephen Snape, like everybody else. Go ahead, just read it up.
If Klopp leaves in the foreseeable future, do you think Klopp will tell everyone FSG are not backing and are not backing the club? FSG are businessmen and no ambition. Well, I don't think he will, because I believe they have NDA, don't they? They have a non-disclosure agreement.
Well, I'll go to George. What do you think? As Richard says, or will he sign one of these disclosure documents to say nothing?
I think Klopp's a very honourable man. I think he's, I don't think he'll be going out telling anything untoward to the press about FSG. I think Klopp's going to be, himself is going to be completely focused on the team, on the tactics, on winning games. What Francine says is absolutely true. FSG are asset builders. They're businessmen. They're not really interested in the sport of football. You only got to look at the Anfield Road, and most of it will be corporate, and it's not even finished. And they've invested a lot of money in the club in terms of the stadium. But the money really should be invested in the team, because it's a team that the supporters want to see and support. You can't get a ticket anywhere for Anfield unless you're paying thousands of pounds to get in. Even a season ticket now, was it £70? You've got 2 kids, £100 plus your kits, 3 kits, another new one every year. So it's asset building for them. And they paid 300 million for the club, and it's probably worth plus 4 billion now. So they're sitting on a huge asset. So we can talk till the cows come home, and they are not going to listen. We're going to hope Jurgen actually has got the character to fight the corner. And this new guy he's brought on, he's only here for a year, isn't he? The director of football, Shamade or whatever his name is.
George Schmacker.
He's the guy. Smanga. He's the guy supposed to be getting the players. So what's he doing?
He's doing nothing. He's doing absolutely nothing.
He's the third director of football in 18 months. The third.
Yeah.
He's not made a single statement. I'm not seeing anything come out from him at all.
He hasn't made it. Yeah.
So I don't think we'll sign anybody before. We certainly won't sign anybody before Saturday. I wouldn't have thought so. And even if we do, he's not going to play. So it's going to be in the 2 weeks between Saturday and the end of the window. We'll find out for sure whether they're serious about what you call the rebuild, Frank. So we'll see.
Well,
I keep saying we might have some
well,
news next week. Next week comes and we never got news.
well, listen, every week, that's what I was going to say. You know, I said to you to marry us, George and Tommy, let's hope next week, you know, we'll be talking about a new player. And how long that we've been saying that since Sabozlai, haven't we?
Yeah, I thought we
next
would,
week,
I thought we would be
next
tonight.
Week, and nothing's happened. And nothing at all has happened, and that's the most ridiculous.
Yeah.
Embarrassing.
Well, we got pulled.
As Paul Burke says, embarrassing.
We got pulled in, didn't we, by signing 2 players really early on. I think one was on the day the transfer started, and we were all like, "Oh, it's as exciting. I wonder who else we'll get." And it's just like, yeah, you've had your 2 now, sure.
Yeah.
And because
I think
we know that Klopp likes to he likes to buy early, doesn't he? Because every manager well, if I was a manager, I'd have who I wanted set in stone. I'd be like, right, this is who I want. Who can you get?
Yeah.
I think another problem is that the spokesperson of the club in general is the manager. Manager needs to answer to everything, even for things that it's not in his hands, like money, like investments, and those kind of things. The only voice of Liverpool FC is Jürgen Klopp.
Yeah.
No one from the board comes out to speak.
No, never.
So and Klopp promised to us the biggest investments, the biggest rebuild, and now he's in danger to be full, you know, for saying that.
That's right, Mario. He's put his neck on the line, isn't he?
Exactly.
Well, the Anfield Road says, does anyone else find it funny at a great club where billions only has one, it seems, negotiator? The man's got one briefcase, one car, one pen, and £1 to spend on petrol. It's just ridiculous, isn't it? And that's the way in other words, I think what everyone's saying there, you know, from embarrassment to like poking fun, and this is what we've become. We've become a joke. We really have. We've become a joke, as Francine said about Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher, and it has given them the impetus to have a little go at Liverpool. The disenchantment of the support base is palpable. Liverpool Football Club should surely be punching its weight in the transfer market, says Stephen.
We should be.
It's like you said, it's not just a football club, it's an institution. It's not just a football club, it's people's lives.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, and you know, as Shankly said, it's the life. The religion, you know, that's where people come to watch the team, you know, and they depend on the manager to say the right things. And he is saying the right things, but at the moment, it didn't look like the board's backing him to do the right things.
Absolutely. And as Charlie Cairns says, a centre-back, right full-back, because we will be found out again in that position. And he's spot on. Because I'm afraid, you know, we're playing Chelsea. They've got the Poch back. Well, the Poch, not back, but in. And the Poch is a very good manager. And he knows how Liverpool play. And don't forget that that's the bridge as well. They're not
I was watching the friendly game against Bayern Munich, and I saw the first 2 goals that we conceded, and it was like I was watching the team from the last season.
Absolutely.
The same problems. Yeah. Exactly the same defensive problems. It was like nothing changed from the last season. Yeah, I haven't seen what happened yesterday yet. Yes.
Same goal. Long ball down the middle.
Yeah, and I've got a question for you. You Nancy. Do you think this Judge Schmacker, who was brought in, I thought we was going to get Kimmich. I thought this fella will sign Kimmich for us from Bayern because he'd be a perfect fit, Kimmich. Brilliant player. But anyway, nothing of the sort. Do you think he's been told to go and look somewhere else? I just don't know because he's not looking anywhere. Has he gone to the Peruvian jungle or something? I just don't
South
know.
America.
I just don't know where this man is.
He was in Deepdale yesterday. At Preston.
Yeah, he's only looking at us. He only went the match. That's about it. Can't be looking at any Preston players.
You're supposed to be looking at Andre from Fluminense.
Now you knew Tom Saunders, George, and I'll be raw, please. What I'd give for the great Tom Saunders to show these idiots how to scout and negotiate like he did in the great days of our club. Well, I'll add Jeff Twentyman.
Jeff Twentyman, yeah. Jeff Twentyman. He was a man.
He's unbelievable. Even
It's
Mario.
not brain surgery, is it?
No. Something forward.
Yeah.
But there is something forward. It must be something phony. Really.
Do you remember Smartcare's specialization working with a small budget?
Yeah, bargain basement.
That's all we're doing. Please, what Steve says.
I want to know what the scouts at LFC are doing. Have they been told not to bother looking for defensive players? Our defence is not up to scratch. Now, Steve was at Deepdale yesterday.
Yeah, he was there. He was there with his lad. And are you worried? Yeah, I'll just go. How worried are you, Marios, about Liverpool's defence? We've seen the pre-season. The forwards, no problem. But there is still something in midfield that is missing badly.
Yeah.
And the defence is exposed again. That's why we're leaking goals after goals.
Yeah.
So what's your take on that, Marios? Are you worried?
I'm totally worried. Really, I'm totally worried, and I'm really frustrated from the way we are dealing with the negotiations of Lavia. It's extremely. Oh my God! What's going on? Let's pay the money and buy him. Just so simple. If you don't think he's worth the money, don't buy him and go for another player. I'm really worried because we were promised the biggest investment, the biggest rebuild in Klopp's tenure, and we are 5 days before the first game of the season, and there's no defensive midfield in the squad. No one. That's crazy. That's crazy.
It's history repeating itself, isn't it? Last season, and then they panicked by that loan, didn't he?
Yeah.
For Mello, who had about 15 minutes game.
13 minutes.
13 minutes.
13 minutes. Yeah. Then
I'm
I'm really worried because I am watching the same defensive problems like last season. It's like nothing changed. So
it's supposed to be lessons learned, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And there are things that were obvious for months. It's unacceptable that we are 5 days before the first game week and there is no complete transfer strategy, transfers. We all know that Klopp wanted to have his players, all his new players, on July 8th for the first day of the preseason. We are in August 8th, and there are just 2 players, and we have how many left? 8 players. How many?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Stephen Slade, I'll go right to you, George, after this. As permanent custodians of the club, club football's biggest prize, we're acting like we're the bottom 6 club in the transfer market. To keep us relevant, we have to be successful on the pitch. And he's spot on there. Can I just ask people, please, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and press the like button. Please press the like button to get the algorithm out there. Please do that for me. and the rest of the everyone. And Steve Evans, I want to know what the scouts at LFC are doing. They have been told, oh, just read that, haven't we? Sorry there, Steve.
Yeah.
FSG are motivated by just taking the profit
Yeah.
that they earned off LFC. I went there and anyway.
Yeah.
See, go on, Francie.
What?
What you say?
I agree with that.
George, what do you think? As I said before, I want to bring you in about the defence. You know, Marios has a go about the defence. He's worried. Are you more worried about the defence of the midfield? What are we all worried about? Your take on it?
I'm worried. Yeah, I'm worried about what I've seen in the pre-season games, Frank. I'm worried about the defence because almost every goal we've given away has been from a very similar thing. High line, ball down the middle, catching it to middle of the back foot out of position, and a goal. Marginally on or offside, you know. And the problem I think we've got, we're not sure at the moment whether Trent's playing midfield or right back. He's caught a little bit between the two, I think. And Gomez, I think, was playing right back last night. But Gomez and Matip in the middle, for me, are not good enough. It's got to be Van Dijk and Canate and Robertson. I'm not sure who should be right back. It's a quandary. We haven't got a real right back, I don't think. I don't rate Joe Gomez as a right back, personally. I think he's a sort of player who could come in and emergency or as a substitute. Well, I don't think he should be starting right back.
Yeah.
Then you start thinking, who should be going in there? How are we going to deal with that? I mean, you know, like you said, Frank, the forward line's fantastic. It's brilliant, special. Every player's special on the forward line. And we've got, you know, the two new guys in midfield. The other guys like Harvey Elliott and Bezeskic, and it's not strong enough. There's not enough experience, you know. He's tried Curtis Jones at the number 6. He's tried McAllister last night at the number 6. So he seems to be experimenting. And as I said, it's getting close to the deadline day now.
It is, as Francine said, George, it's desperation.
It's desperation, isn't it? It's like trying to move your chess pieces, you know, to defend your king, more or less.
Yeah. And he came out and he said he understands what's wrong. He can see what's wrong, and we're going to work on it in the next 3 or 4 days, and we're going to get it right. But it's all last minute sort of putting patches on the job, I think, to be honest.
I mean, you know, there's another embarrassing thing, isn't it? You know, it was the headlines all over like social media and the newspapers and everything about like what Klopp says after the game, saying, you know, for Chelsea, you know, we're going to have to do this, do that, making out that it's just a makeshift. And this is Liverpool Football Club. You know, as you say, it's not like, you know, your Lutons or whoever. This is like the third richest club or in the world, one of the most supported clubs in the world, you know, just behind Real Madrid. It's shocking. It's that shocking. You've got nothing to say. I'm saying it's made me speechless, and I can talk.
I know you can talk.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, Francine. To be honest, you know, with the biggest club of the lot, in my view. I know I'm biased, but you know, there's not many bigger than Liverpool, and we should have the money, we should have the funds, we should have the charisma to go out and get virtually whoever we want. Maybe not Mbappe, but you know, players up to 100 million in that sort of.
Why can't we get that Casado? Why can't we get him?
We should be getting people like him. We should be.
Exactly.
That's the sort of player we need.
But we won't.
Spend the money.
All I think they're doing, they're investing in other sporting franchises, and they're putting the money into there. They want that NFL thing, the club. That's what they're doing. So they're investing everything. They're investing our money. Even the supporters of Boston Red Sox, they don't like them at all. You know, I know people who's actually spoken to these fans over there, the supporters of Boston Red Sox, and they said they hate it.
They are. Well, they're saying that they're going for second-tier players now. I mean, I don't understand baseball, but
You can understand second
But I can
tier.
understand, yeah. Like what we're doing, we scrape the battle, don't we? Ours are more injury-prone players, is what we buy. Book it like, you may get like 10 good games out of them and then they'd be out for 20.
As Gareth Williams says, they got to go. It's the same old PR garbage every summer. They need a hounding out, and that goes for all the puppets that they have paid off. SOS, Redmen TV, TAW, FSD. He's just calling everybody out as Gareth Williams. And this is how the frustration goes on social network, and it goes on the podcast, it goes on everything. And this is what it's all about. I think everybody on here is so frustrated.
Well, I think you see what's happened is other podcasts who they've had like loads of incentives to go to every away game. They get interviews with stars, players, whatever. And unfortunately, instead of them thinking about what's happening to the club, they just don't want like the little goodies that they can get, and that's such a shame. Because they lose the heart of what of like football on the pitch and all this, and just want to go to like, oh well, I can get a Klopp exclusive or a Bobby Firmino signed shirt. That's the way it is.
Yeah.
See, Richard Hutchinson says FSG bought LFC for 300 million. Now LFC worth 4 to 5 billion. Only the Saudis and Middle East, or the Middle Eastern things, will pay that money. Their human rights and women rights record is very bad. I'm getting embarrassed, frustrated, and angry. And this is by just an ordinary lad who, Neil Carlyle. I haven't heard from Neil for ages. And he says it's an absolute joke. We are funding their basketball team. And he's right. He's so right. Francine, can you do all that? Tommy Batty sends a message here. He says, hiya boys, sorry I couldn't make it from Oakstone Park. There's a great duo after our dinner. Have a great show.
Tommy. Hello, Tommy.
I've been there, Tommy. It's a nice place. You'll enjoy that.
See you next week, face to face.
20 Guinness.
Exactly, that's what he'll be doing anyway. It's not as though players don't want to play for Liverpool or Klopp.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'd want to play for Klopp.
Yeah. I'll leave that out.
Marios, what's your OnlyFans account? I'm going to subscribe and give my life saving to you.
New way of income. New way of income. Thanks for the idea.
Yeah. I thought you.
He doesn't know it's a football podcast, mate.
Steve Evans will be on with our Francine when I'm away. He says, made up carry has had a pop, and he's right.
I think the problem is...
Don't forget chat to it. As Alfred Ross says, don't forget chat to hit the likes for Frank. Thank you so much.
Yeah, good man. That's great.
Thank you so much. And Paul Baker's bosses are an Evertonian. He sneaks out to look at this. And he says, said this to Francine the other day, I see us like Keegan's Newcastle. You score 3, we score 4 with a forward line, but it will end in tears like it did for Keegan. It ended up in tears, in tears last season, didn't it?
Yeah, but a few seasons ago we were like that when we had no defence before Van Dijk. That's what we were like. We've always had these good forwards going forward, but a bit of a shaky defence. And, we had like Mignolet and Karius, didn't we? Yeah. So, we had to... for me, did you watch the game, George? Yesterday?
Yes.
Did you see the Alisson done?
Say
Where it
again?
could have been two.
Yeah.
You know, we've got this keeper that can save games for us.
Oh,
But-
yes.
But any other team with quality out front, you know, who knows? It might have even been 3-1. It could have been 4-3 to them.
Anfield Ross says the concern for me, I love Trent, but watching these friendlies, the lads got no wing mirrors and never sees danger in from behind them. What do you think of that, George? That comment?
Yeah, I think that's what I said. That's what I said before. And that's a little problem. That really, and when the ball goes over his head and there's a big space at the back in the right back position, you know.
Yeah.
But on the game last night, Francine, I thought at times Liverpool played quite well. To be honest, I thought they pushed the ball around well, and I thought we were obviously by far the better team, and the young lads got a chance to play. So I'm looking at the optimistic side as well. And it was a brilliant goal by Diaz from the corner from Szoboszlai. So, I mean, talking about the football, I thought the football was, for a pre-season friendly, was good. But we are, of course, worried about the transfer situation. Nothing's going to change between now and the start of the season. So we got to hope that we get off and running on Saturday and start getting behind the team again. Because it's a long season ahead. And there'll be a lot of excitement, isn't it?
You know what? It's Szoboszlai. Is that right? Szoboszlai, he looks like a really good prospect, doesn't he? And McAllister, you know, they look really good. And even though I moan all the time about Liverpool, it's more about the owners really, and just what I'm seeing.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
I love my team, and I'll always back my team. You know, win, lose, or draw.
Szoboszlai was captain of Hungary, scored against England at Wembley, and McAllister's a World Cup winner. So they both got pedigree. So that's the sort of player we need to bring in, you know, to back these up.
Of course. But you see, do you think we would have got McAllister if we hadn't have got the guess out clause for 35 million?
No.
And we gave them Milner as well, didn't we?
Yeah. But still, do you think? Because I personally don't.
I was surprised.
I want you to comment on this, Marios and George. Just comment on this.
So Ian Gold has said, net spend of about 25 million will be the order of the day again. We still have a month to go, but Jurgen went on record saying as he wanted them in the place of the pre-season, what you said. And I think we will get Lavia done, but he's 19. Great talent, but are we winning the title?
That's Marios.
Yeah. That's really frustrating about the net spend. Really frustrating, because I was always saying that this summer was the most crucial for me in terms of the ambition of the FSG. I was saying that if they don't invest in this summer with that need of rebuild, that will mean that they have no real ambition about the competitive part of the team. They don't have ambition for the team to be competitive for the title and for winning titles. So being less than a month until the deadline day, and with this transfers, that so little amount of transfers, I'm really worried, and I am totally sure that they really don't have the ambition. That's what we want. We knew before, but I was hoping that in this summer something will change, but nothing changed. That's the problem, and I think that the negotiations on Lavia are laughable, because we will pay at the end of the day. We will pay the money that Southampton want, and we have lost 1 month. We could have paid from the very first day the 50 million and get Lavia on time, and we will pay them with much more late.
Love. I think we'll pay them with love. That's all about.
But do you think, though, on that note, if we'd have got Lavia, like for 3-4 weeks ago. Is 3 enough? Are 3 players enough for us to be happy?
No, of course
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
What
We
do you
need a
think,
centre back for
George?
sure. We need a right
What do
back
you-
also. A
George,
centre back. Come on.
George,
I
what do
think
you think about what Ian Gold has said about,
I
great talent, but are we winning the title?
Yeah,
I don't think we've got any chance of winning the title.
I think Ian.
Because
I think Ian's right.
everywhere our rivals above us have spent
Yeah.
big.
Ian's right, Frank. Ian's right about the 25 million net spent, and he's also right about the way they conduct business. And it looks to me like for FSG, they're happy with top 4.
Yeah,
They're happy getting into the European Cup and generating interest. Jurgen Klopp wants to win the championship.
No ambition.
The league. Fans do. That's what we want. We want to win the league. We want to challenge City like we've done the last 3 or 4 years. Like we've been right within a point of them, and we should have won 2 titles. But then we went and let people grow a little bit old, and didn't rebuild. We didn't get the players in at the time when we were 1 point behind United City or when we won the league. Now we're playing catch up. And, I hope it's not too late. I've still got optimism. I'm a very optimistic person. I love Liverpool. And I just think that we will, at the end of the season, we'll be there or thereabouts, one way or the other. And FSG are still going to be there, no matter what we say. We're going to have to live with them for a while because, as the lad said before, there's only the Arabs that's going to pay the money. And it doesn't look like at the moment they're coming in. So, we're going to start thinking about the football and getting on with it.
I think that proves a point with what you just said there, George, because the fan base, no matter how many of us there is, it's so diverse about the Middle East and about other owners, because there's other owners out there who haven't got the money, put it that way. They haven't got the money, right? So they've got us like this. FSG have us like this, because they know that half of the fan base, the likes of SOS, they don't speak. No group speaks for me, by the way, or any other group. They don't speak for me. Who don't call out the owners. They don't say nothing about the owners. They don't even call out Klopp, because Klopp, he said the beginning of last season that the journalists were right. And he was wrong. And he still hasn't put it right this season. He just hasn't. And what he turned around and said as well is that we are going in for players and we're still waiting. We brought in 2, which is the most ridiculous thing. Just read my reality.
Liverpool are looking for, FSG are looking for an investment though. 5% investment are looking for.
Yeah, but that won't go to us.
No, it won't go to us. But
change anything now.
Like, no use looking for investments if it's not
they
going
are.
to
I'm
us.
just saying, and it's on the back, on the strength, should I say, of Liverpool.
The brands of Liverpool.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Mm.
Put my glasses back on. Hold on. Good evening, all from Ireland. Roll on next week and the Prem being back. But if I'm honest, I kind of fear our first away game at Chelsea. Back to the high press game we witnessed years ago. If opposition score 4, we will score 5. Can I ask the question, who actually said Klopp will have the biggest transfer window this time?
Who actually said that? But it was promised, wasn't it? It was promised by the owners. That's who said it. We would be backing, the manager to buy the players it needs. And if that is the case, there's only 2 players that we brought in.
Yeah, we've lost the likes of Thuram, Casado, all these people that we were allegedly with.
Yeah. Kone, yeah.
About
6 of them.
Loads. Viega, for example. Yeah, Gravenberch, yeah. But,
what's his name? Who City have just bought, and he's a red.
Gavardio.
Yeah.
Gavardio.
Take a look
Man
at
City
the
for
defense.
75 million.
Yeah. Take a look at Manchester City defense. There was no real need of Guardiola, but they brought him in.
Yeah.
But that's City's thing, isn't it? He will buy and just for cover. You know, half of them will just sit on the bench.
Can I just ask everybody out there, please just hit the like button. Please, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Cost absolutely nothing. If you want to comment, because it will be read out. Just like what Charlie Wood says here. If we get Lavia, everyone will expect more of him because of the time it's taken to get him. I think that's a very good point, and no one's come up with that. And we will expect more of the lad. And don't forget, to me, he's very inexperienced. He's only has 19 games in the Premiership, and people will expect a lot from him because of all the time taken to get him. You know, we want him, and this is what is going around. Liverpool is saying, and yet we will expect too much of him. I think that's a very good show.
But I also remember at the beginning when people were like, we don't want him. We want to get this, that, and the other. And now there's not that many to go round. So people are like, yeah, let's get him. You know, so even the fans are doing the panic buy, aren't they?
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
Did you see that? I was in Dublin last week and says, Anfield Road. See that Jörg Schmacker out there? I said, hello, Jörg. Who are you scouting? And Jörg replied, I can't say that.
I know.
Yeah. If I know, FSG haven't sent me the money to get back to Anfield. Nazir Ali says, they were saying this was going to be our big summer, and that answers Niall Clarity, to be honest.
Yeah, even Klopp, I think, was saying that. Even Klopp himself was saying that.
Yeah, he said it. Of course he said it, and that's who said it. You know, there's no one making this war chest up, this 250 million, because I was watching a lad named Jamie Phillips, and he was on, and he was saying, if we're going to get this and I'm going back months ago, he said, if we're going to get this 200 to 250 million, it's great. We will have a rebuild fit for purpose. And, you know, we brought two in since. So it was said then, going back a few months ago.
Well, even if you go on the back of the Bellingham, you know, that was banded about 180 million. Yeah. So, you know, where's that money? Where's any money? Where's the money from the Champions League win? Or the Prem win? Or the Champions League finals and all the cup finals and
everything?
You know, with TV rights alone.
Yeah. It's gone it's gone, as someone said, it's all going to the basketball team. That's what it's going to. And the ice hockey team, to keep up Red Sox, they're trying to buy NFL, some club in the NFL league. And also, it's going on the big brand new yacht that was purchased by John Henry. You know, this is where it's going. It's not certainly not going to us. And forget about the stand, because the stand was built by us. It was built by us. We're paying for that. FSG or not. And also the Anfield Road end stand, which is an absolute disgrace, by the way, because it's not finished. It's not finished. And it's higgledy to me. It really is. I'm sick of it. Ian Golder, he wasn't on the top of the list. We've moved in from Klopp, only taking as number one target. Batic is also 19, another great player, but it will take time with these two, and he's so right.
And Ben Doak. Ben Doak.
Oh my God, what's that? Oh my God.
Brilliant.
I think Europa League will help.
Okay, George, go ahead. About Ben Doak.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him in a team. It wouldn't surprise me if he was in the team on Saturday, not at the start, but possibly coming on.
So come on.
Yeah, he looks like he's ready. He looks a fantastic talent. I mean, you know, I hope it's not a flash in the pan, because every time I've seen him, he's got a huge burst of pace and courage.
you know, they say about Nunes frightening, you know, Captain Chaos frightening defences. Young Doug frightens defences.
Yeah.
Because he just goes straight at them. He goes right at them.
Yeah. He was worrying that team to death the other night. Every time he got the ball, you know, they didn't know what to do.
Of course he was.
He's like, he reminds me of Michael Owen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Europe.
Michael Owen.
Quick and he's
What do you
fast.
think, Marios? What did you think of Benzo?
I think he's an exceptional player with great potential, and he's more mature than his age. I think that Europa League games, even especially in the group stage, will help young players to take more minutes in for the senior squad. Yeah, I think he's really exceptional and more mature than his age. That's what I'm seeing.
Well, you know, when they talk about potential, we've had a few of them over the years, haven't we? You know, he's going to be great, but you can see that he will be a great player, can't you?
Yeah.
Charlie Kerr says, one time our defence was strong when midfield covered the defence, but still say Van Dijk is not the same player after the injury.
Yeah.
I just want to talk about, before you go on, I just want to say something about this book.
Well, what's going on? Oh,
There it is.
There we go.
yeah.
There it is. I just want to say something about that because I'll just go on to this. I just want to go on to this. And I'll go back to that, actually. And I'll go back to that as well. This is a book signing and in conversation with Frank Carlyle, Marios Manzos, and it's at Waterstones, Liverpool 1, Thursday, August the 17th, between 6:30 to 8 p.m. And I'll be asking Marios, I'm not asking him now, but a couple of questions, that's all, about the book, also about everything Liverpool. I really will. Now, don't forget that Marios is an Athens lad, big Liverpool supporter, and he's written a book. And if you look at the title, the social one, and why Jurgen Klopp was a perfect fit for Liverpool. Just think about that for a moment. And anyway, he'll be there at Waterstones between 6 and 8 o'clock on Thursday, August the 17th, with me and loads of scenes there. Tommy Batty's there. Everyone will be there, and all the lads on there. So it'll be a great night.
Yeah, of course.
It will be.
Especially the aftermatch. The aftermatch will be great.
Yeah. I'll have to take the day off. Won't I?
You always take a day off.
I always take a day off.
With me.
Yeah, Marius, I've got it.
Of course, we'll be out. Oh my God.
Yeah, look.
Hey guys.
Look at that. I get it signed. I'm taking it down to get it signed.
Got mine as well, by the way.
Yeah. I will ask for that. Yes.
I was just going to add that, to be honest, George. Just
Looking forward to seeing you.
And there he is. There's George's for you people. The lost Shankly boy, George Scott's Anfield journey, when the great man himself.
Tell that man, Richard, I wasn't such a bad-looking fella either.
Well, there you go, George. You look like a young Beatle with a mop head.
Exactly.
Wow, young Beatle. Yeah, exactly.
That's what the girls used to say, Frank.
Oh, they would, wouldn't they? That's what they used to say. I remember having black hair myself, to be honest, George. I remember it well. But anyway, getting back to, listen, people, not smash it, but just press the like button, you know, and be nice with you. And it'll be great, you know, just to
looking forward to that night, Frank. I'm looking forward to that night with Marios. It'll be a super night.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. Even George, you know, I haven't even met you personally. I'm just looking forward to just looking forward to meeting you. I'm just looking
I've got a
forward to
signed book
meeting
for
every
you.
one of you. You know, yeah, absolutely. Tommy Batty, Richard Hutchinson says Liverpool 3 versus Darmstadt 1. The goal
Yep.
that they scored yesterday was a long ball over top. Kanate and Trent were ball watching, middle and high line, and that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's what worries
And
me.
how many goals look like that during the pre-season, and we still haven't got it right? I can imagine Chelsea doing it. I really can, and it's got me worried. It's got me worried.
Well, I think last season teams found our Achilles heel, didn't he? That's what it was, wasn't it?
Yeah. And Tommy says if we don't sign any first-class defenders, that is right back, left central defender, then Jurgen Klopp must take some of the blame. What do you think, Marius?
Yeah, I totally agree, because he's the manager at the end of the day, and he has the responsibility of building the team and for what we see inside the pitch. And yes, he also will take the blame for not speaking for some things, maybe for not informing the fans for some some things of negotiations or all this kind of things. But yeah, I think if we don't see so much improvement this season, I think Jurgen will think a lot about his future in the team. Because do you remember when he left Mainz at Dortmund? He left because he couldn't develop the team anymore, so he decided to leave. I can't help anymore, so I leave. I think the case will be the same here if he doesn't develop the team this season. If he doesn't improve the team this season. So that's what I'm worrying about. I'm worrying about not seeing so much improvement in the team. I'm worrying about Jurgen's position.
Yeah.
What about you, George?
I think it's a huge season for Jurgen, really big season for him, really. He's not been under too much pressure in the last 6 years because he's been so successful. But last year, the pressure started to build until the end of the season when he got away with 10 good performances. Curtis Jones started to rock around a bit. This season now, we've got a big game against Chelsea. There's been a lot of criticism about this transfer budget and what we've been doing in the transfer market. And like every manager, he will be judged on results. They're all judged on results. It's as simple as that. If Liverpool lose the first game and then draw the second game, and then the tidal wave will start. So he has to win the first 2 or 3 games, give him some time to get these extra players in. That's how I see it.
What do you think, Lance?
Yeah, I agree. I think Klopp has been the front for FSG for a bit too long, and as you say, it's all right when you're winning, or when we reach them 4 finals, the 3 finals, sorry, and the points for the league. But now it has really hit the fan, hasn't it? From last season. Then he's come out and made a really bold statements and said, this season we're going to buy and make mistakes from last season. No, we needed midfielders. Got rid of about 1 million midfielders, and now we're like, we're thin on the ground. I mean, when you look at the bench and things, all right, yeah, we've got Harvey Elliott and Curtis Jones, but we're Liverpool Football Club.
What do you think, George?
Yeah, well, Francine's right, really. I mean, we're Liverpool Football Club, and if you look at the midfield players we've had in the past, you can run off your names. I mean, Gerrard, Mascherano, Alonso, McMahon, all those great players, and now we're talking about young lads, 17, 18, Bajcetic, and, so you're right, Francine. I think, we do need to shape up and get some more experience in the world-class players, really, is what we need for a world-class team.
I truly believe as well. I mean, this is all opinion based, but I truly believe because of Americans, and and I don't want to disrespect Americans or anything like that, but the way they are business minded and capitalists, I think that they've all got unwritten things. You can't say nothing about us. As you say, when he was at Mainz, he came out and spoke about, Rafa Benitez did it at Valencia. He said, "What is it? Why buy a why buy a lamp when you can't afford the table?" Things like that. I think that FSG have probably got them contracted. Like, you can't say nothing, because I know that when players leave, that they do sign all these contracts to say they can't say nothing about it. I think Torres has been the first. I know he was an FSG, but he's the first to start coming out now and saying stuff.
Well, Captain Sal says Liverpool is FSG cash cow. They ain't ever selling us as long as they are making money. And it's loads of money. That's what they're making, and it's a soul boy Fran.
They bought us for, we say they bought us for 350 million. They never bought us. It
wasn't 300, it was 300 million.
300, whatever. They got a loan that Liverpool FC had to pay back, and they never bought us. They never saved us. I couldn't, but if you could have forward thinking, we could have got a loan out and got the LFC paying us back.
True.
It's just one of them things. They never bought us. I've never, out of all the owners, I mean, even to like ex-footballers, Salford, and all the ex-Man United players, they put money out of their own pockets into that club. I think ours must be the only club in the world that don't go like that. Here's a couple of million. If they can afford big boats, they can afford a decent bloody left back, can't they? Or a decent right back, or anyone. If
left side as a centre back.
Yachts are like what? 100 odd million?
Yeah. No, I think it cost them 240 million a yacht.
Yeah, that was because of bought Mbappe for that.
Don't go down there.
That's the joke of the year. That's the joke of the year.
What would you rather have, a big yacht or Mbappe?
Yeah. Well, John Smith would rather have us, because he says, "Hello all, evening," says John Smith. "Hello, John.
Yeah.
How are you?"
John. Hello, John.
I really do. And this lad says, "Realism, Jared. Like, subscribe, share." Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Jared, thank you so much, lads. And I just want to go through
Frank,
a few.
Somebody mentioned Bezetchik before. This lad's been injured for so long. What's wrong with him? It must be 6 months.
Don't know, and that's the frighteningest thing, because he's only young. He got injured, and he's been out, and he's only on the rehab now. I think he'll be ready in a couple of weeks, but he won't be ready in a couple of weeks because he's had no pre-season. No. Same as Thiago. He's had no pre-season. I've always remembered, through the years, if no one's had a pre-season, they're very sluggish, because they have to catch up to speed and the rhythm of the other players who's had a pre-season. And it's just as well that we have got Szoboszlai and McAllister.
Yeah, I know from my own experience how important pre-season is, because you're just not up to speed, match fit until at least 6 weeks.
No, exactly, and that's the problem. People think that it's they're in the team, and they're playing. It's trying to get up to speed and into the rhythm, and it does take time. It takes between 4 to 6 weeks, and that again, this young lad, I still don't. He's only potential, this lad, and people are forgetting that. He's only a prospect, and they're going to pay 50. I'd rather just pay another 50 million and get that Casado in. That's what
I'd rather pay 14 million for the potential in South America, or maybe 14 million for the potential in South America that could come good, and maybe 2 do, and then you resell the rest. I like the South American players, as you can tell.
Yeah.
Well, as Captain
that
Sal
hopefully-
says, the longer you
Yeah.
stretch this Lavia saga out, the less time we have to get more signings in. And FSG having to spend, which is what is their ultimate goal.
Yeah.
So have we only got one scout? Is that what it is? That's why we're only going
Judge
for one
Schmack-
player at a time.
He's called the director of football. Director of football. That's his title.
Yeah.
We've had 3 in the last 2 years.
But isn't he only temporary as well?
Yeah.
Why have the others left?
Because
Well, that's a good question. Michael Edwards and a few others.
It's
yeah.
a redundant
That's a
job,
good
isn't
question.
it? It's a redundant job. I mean, at the end of the day, no, we don't buy anyone. We sell a lot of players. We buy to sell. So what's your job there for? That's why Edwards and everyone left.
You're talking to the agents. He has to talk to the agents.
Well, they are. I'll go over to Marios on this. And Soulboy France says the biggest problem going into this season with a small squad is not allowing for injuries.
Yeah.
We're going to be in big trouble if we don't strengthen.
Yeah.
Would you like
Yeah,
to comment on
yeah.
that? Comment, Mario.
Yeah, of course. Even if we bring in a good defensive midfield like Lavia, and let's guess that Lavia will fit in the squad and he will be exceptional in the team. We will have a great starting lineup, but what happens if someone gets injured?
Yeah.
The depth of the squad is so small because that's what a small squad means, small depth, and that's a big problem when you are chasing and you are playing too many competitions. We will play so many games. The Premier League is a big duration tournaments. The same Europa League. We will go on really to win the Europa League. So that means we have the aim to play many games. The same with the cups. There will be a season with 55 games. There will be injuries for sure. For sure, there will be injuries.
Yeah.
Well, Liverpool haven't even got a club doctor for one. And we're renowned for injuries as well, aren't we? You know, how many of our
Good
players
point,
get
yes.
injured? If we haven't got a club doctor, but how many of our players get injured during training?
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
groin strains.
For sure.
I've always
So,
said that.
you know,
Why?
And
We are
there are
walking on
injury-prone
eggshells.
players also.
Well, we're
There's
walking on
injury-prone
eggshells.
players like
Look at
Thiago.
Keita in the Bundesliga has a great record, didn't he? Never injured. Hardly got a game when he played for Liverpool. He's always injured. So you know, I think Salah's the only player really
The only player.
Yeah.
who doesn't
Yeah,
really get
legend.
injured. He's made of titanium.
I'll just
Yeah.
spell
Yeah.
that. Anyway, if Klopp leaves LFC, we have to rebuild again. We need to get Xabi Alonso, or Steven Gerrard, or Julian Nagelsmann, or Roberto De Zerbi. Managers are hard to find nowadays.
Yeah.
Good point.
It's
That's a good point.
too early for this discussion. Too early.
But
Yeah.
if Klopp,
Yeah,
I don't want to
definitely.
talk about Klopp. I don't want to talk about Klopp leaving. But if Klopp did leave, don't forget we'd still have FSG. So whoever comes in would have even worse chance.
Good
than
point,
Jurgen.
George.
Yeah,
Good point.
well, and that's a frightening thought, to be honest. It really is. It's shuddering to think if he left, say he just walked tomorrow.
Yeah. He won't.
Just imagine that.
Well, you know, last season when we went on that really bad run, I think it was the whole at the beginning. He looked like he was going to cry, and he was going to crack, didn't he? You know, some of them interviews, he was lost, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was lost. That's the word. Was lost. He was
That's when
not even angry. He was
No.
like empty. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
think
that's
this
because
is a good
everything was on his shoulders. Because FSG never make a statement. The director of football never makes a statement, like
No.
Mario said. So it's Jurgen
And that's
Klopp
good.
who's the guy in the front of the camera, and he's the one who has to take all the flack.
Can I
You
just
don't
ask
envy
the people out there, can you please just, the like button, just press it for me. And get the algorithm out there, and it's just for the show, just for the podcast. Thank you. Thank you so much if you do. Thank you so much. And you'll be able to comment as well. It'll be good if you see your comments. And this is a good point. Our fan base, by Stephen Snape, our fan base is so massive that it's obvious we're not going to have just a single group who speaks for us all. There's just too many opinions out there. Nobody speaks for me apart from me. And so say all of us.
That's what football's
Because
about,
we've got
opinions.
all our own opinions. And our own, I think we have great opinions. See by the lads on here. You can actually see by the lads on here. And they're all good. Can I just go to this one? Captain Sal. Let's just see this. FSG stall and get only one more in the end. So fans are grateful for that and forget the rest, like United did when they got Sancho. And that's so spot on, that. Because they are playing a game. And if we do sign this lad or whoever next week, and they'll go, oh, look who we've signed, everything will be forgotten. But it won't be forgotten by the likes of us. Because this is torture. And as I've said for a few years, honestly, I have, that the spin out of them, I call them the washing machine, because they spin so much to the fans. And most fans actually believe it. They actually believe in what they say.
And more are starting to realise now, though. I mean, you know, I'll just say I've never liked FSG, and I've had verbal abuse given because I've spoken about my opinions. And I've had, I'm a plastic fan, go and support someone else, you know, not, and and all this, as well as expletives. And I've foreseen what's going on. You could see the way they manoeuvred, and you know, and fortunate we won the league. Fortunately, we won the Champions League. A lot of these cover-ups, but you could see this like thing just lurking at the bottom, all this unsettlement, and it's coming into fruition from last season, because you see, one of you touched on it. We had such a great squad, but then they were left to go old, and they were never replaced. There was never any. Them wing backs of Trent and Robbo. I've never, apart from Timacas, but never had any replacements. They wore them out. Yes. How many games did they play? I think they played something like 100 games or something, and it's just wrong. But because they were young, they could. And you can see it now. Robbo isn't the same player. You know, he's getting older, and his legs are worn because we've run them to the ground.
Yeah, we didn't build on our success. That's the problem.
But we never had invested
when we could. Yes.
Well, I mean, you only have to look at when Van Dijk got injured. And, you know, we had all and sundry in replace. You know, Henderson played there, Fabinho played there, you know, everyone. And I know what you're saying, well, you know, it was mid-season or whatever, it was October. But we didn't have any strength in depth.
Well, Lovren left the club. Lovren left the club the summer before. And
that was legit. I said at the time, why get rid of him? Why get rid of him? I said that.
If you're not replacing.
Yeah, exactly. Anfield Road, our revenue growth in the year in May 2022 rose to 594 million. You might as well say 600 million. That's a rise of 27% in 2021. Numbers 487 million. That's COVID numbers. And yet we made even more money. So I'd be really interested to see the next figures.
Yeah.
That's why we're the third richest in that Forbes, as Francine mentioned before.
Yeah.
I mean, I've mentioned this about 3 times. So it breaks my heart. Are you feeling the same way as well?
I think this is
Yeah.
a good one from Redbird D9. They must have one of the best PR teams ever, as he says, and he's so right. So right.
Yeah, just like Man City had the best lawyers, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had about 27 of them, didn't he?
Still have, yeah.
Yeah.
I think someone agrees with me here. John Swift. Good point. Lavia is inexperienced, but does have the potential. There will be a lot of pressure, especially in terms of if they focus on the side of him to use as a protector. A lot of pressure. I'd say there, John. A lot of pressure. A lot of pressure, my friend. I think it's. I think that the comments are brilliant. Actually, the comments are really good because
Yeah.
Richard Hutchinson says, "Where's the money going? Liverpool won the Champions League, the Premier League, FA Cup, EFL Cup, Charity Shield, World Cup, Champions Cup, Super Cup money, TV rights, merchandise, tickets, and fans around the world." You can't
Tell
get
you what, thank God we
anything.
won all them. Thank God we won all them competitions. God knows what we'd be doing here tonight.
Yeah.
Thanks
We'd
to
be
Jürgen.
digging the Anfield Road. That's what we'd be doing. We'd be fixing it up. Buying tiles from B&Q.
That shows how special Liverpool are, though. Look at that record. That's only recent. I tell you what,
Oh, I
it's
know.
nice to see the modern fans being given some success in the last 6 years, because my generation had fantastic success. Frank's generation's had fantastic success, but my son's generation saw nothing for 20 years, 30 years.
Yes, me too.
And all
Me
of a sudden,
too.
Klopp comes along, bingo, and they get to go to Wembley, they get to Europe, they win European Cup. So that's why it's so precious. We don't let it slip. That's why we need to sort of get this rebuild completed and get back on the rails again.
Yeah.
I am born in 1993.
Marios, don't answer that because that's one of the questions I'm going to be asking you.
Oh.
17. You know about generational thing and a generation
Okay.
of being starved, and all of a sudden Klopp came along and bang, everything changes for the last generation. But in future generations, if this stopped it, this could come to a grind and halt. As Neil Carlyle says, Lavia Casino and Inesio from Sporting, and immediately Liverpool FC starts entering the talk for the title straight away. We'd be first or second. At the minute, we'll finish around 7th at best.
We'll finish higher than that.
This is the worry of every single Liverpool
Not so
fan.
pessimistic. I'm not so pessimistic there.
It's Daz O'Connor, yeah.
Finish higher than that.
And I'll just go straight to that. Daz is one of the regulars on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
I know Daz, yeah.
Yeah. And he says, everyone who is in the chat, please like and subscribe to Frank's channel. Thank you.
Good man, Darren.
He asked from you to pay the ticket from USA to Liverpool.
That's lovely. These lads are smashing. Look, Realism, Jared, he's done it again. Just thank you, Jared. And as Redbird D9, Jürgen Klopp is the modern day. You agree with that there, George? Bill Shankly.
I can agree with that 100%. He's the only manager that I can ever remember who I would bracket somewhere up alongside Shankly, just behind him in my view. But I mean, nobody will ever beat Bill Shankly. That's it. He's just the one and only, as far as I'm concerned. But Jürgen Klopp's got the same philosophy. I've said this many times. He's got the same philosophy for the fans. He knows what makes Liverpool fans tick. He's got the same social background. He's charismatic. He's got everything Bill Shankly had. When he speaks, people listen. When he goes to the Kop and punches his fist in the air and the crowd respond. There's no other manager does that really like him in the modern day. And a lot of it comes from Shankly. And I know how much Jürgen admires him. He's got a big picture of him in his office. Being in his office, he's got Shankly's picture right behind his desk. Yeah. And so I have a great admiration. And it's great that Marios had written that book because it puts the record out the why he fits for Liverpool, and I couldn't put it better than Marius puts it in his book.
Oh, thank you, George.
How about that? Look at that. Redbird G9. Breaking news. George Scott is no longer lost. Frank has found him. Isn't that lovely?
My wife found me first. She's still putting up with me 57 years later.
Oh, wow.
Look at this one. Marius Manzas, the social one. I'm going to buy 1 million books and get your autograph and get your number and take you out on a date.
I will invest the money for transfers.
We've got Casino lads. Casino coming in this week. He'll be playing Saturday against Chelsea. I've still
You'll
got
be at
it on
Waterstones.
my finger.
Yeah.
No. Charlie Wood says he's got it on Kindle. I don't know whether that's the Lost Boy or the social one. Not quite so sure.
Yeah.
And Charlie Kane's asked George this. George, what happened to Ian Ross, please?
Yeah, Ian Ross sadly passed away a few years ago with a heart attack. He was a very good friend of mine, and I'm still friendly with his family. He had a great career after he left Liverpool, especially in management. He went to Aston Villa, where he led the team as captain at the League Cup final. And then he went to Iceland, and he did a fantastic job in Iceland, became a bit of a legend over there in management, and then came back to the UK. Lovely man, fantastic guy, so sadly missed.
Oh.
Yeah. Charlie Woods, it's a good little one. If we start sliding down the league, FSG will blame Klopp.
Of course.
There you have it.
They'll hide behind.
And John Smith, and to be fair, Lavia, like Doug, brings the sense of excitement for Klopp. Magic is important.
It's a good one.
Yeah, but don't you? This is why I would have liked Fabinho still here, because he was given the experience just for another season. But we would never have gone after Lavia.
No.
We wouldn't be interested in, would we? Really, if we still have Fabinho, and this is the state of it's the state of the owners. You can't walk away and not look at the owners and say, well, they're great, them, they're doing everything possible. They're not doing everything possible.
No.
And that's the way I look at it.
Do you know what my big concern is? And this is totally off context, but if Salah goes, I mean, he says he had a bad season last season, and he's our main player, isn't he? Goal scorer and assist.
Yeah. And he never gets injured, as you said before.
Yeah.
Do you think Klopp is too much of a yes man regarding FSG? Straight over to you, Francie.
I'm going to say yeah. But I have another opinion. I think he loves the club that much that he doesn't want to unsettle fans, and I think he takes the flak, and I think he fronts it in his way. And that's what I don't think he'll call them out. That's my opinion, and I think that's what I hope. I think he's covering them to make us more settled.
What do you think, George?
Yeah, I agree with what Francie. I agree with what she says there. I mean, I think it's difficult for a manager in the modern game now. I mean, so many things going on behind the scenes as well. I wouldn't say he's a yes man at all, but I think he is protecting the supporters really, and he may be protecting the team as well. Because he's a big believer in team spirit and building the team's atmosphere within the dressing room, and there's all that to take into consideration as well.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say for George, that he also tries to protect the team, the players. and he also he's a man that seems to respect the structure of the club, the board of and then he's under the board. That I'm a worker here. I work to Liverpool. Liverpool is not my club. I work to Liverpool. That's why he respects that structure of the club. So that's why maybe he behaves like that.
I mean, go on, Francine. Go on. I said the players obviously love him. You can see the atmosphere he generates within the team. And I think he's a very fair manager. You'll criticize, you'll get annoyed.
Yeah.
They won't hold a grudge unless somebody does something absolutely ridiculous. Like I remember we had one player that came late for training and didn't turn up in time. I forget his name now, fullback, and Klopp moved them on. Frank probably know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, it was
very few.
What was his name? Yeah.
Big, left half.
Yeah,
left
that was
back.
in America, wasn't it?
Yeah, and he started to misbehave a little bit, and he wouldn't toe the line.
So
and
Jurgen
threw him out. But apart from that, most of his players, he's before he signs a player as well. I think he looks into the back end, character.
Saka,
yeah,
that's him. Yeah. Yes, Saga.
An appropriate name, really, isn't it?
Yes, Saga was sacked. No, I think he does treat the players with respect, and he's got a good. He generates respect back from the team. That's one big thing about Jurgen.
You can see the camaraderie at the end, and but I do. I mean, I agree. I never even took the players yet. He wants to build that morale and keep that morale, doesn't he? And I think I touched on it. Last season when he looked really dejected and lost, and you could see he had nothing to say, and you could see it being drained out of him. And he's not going to stand there and go, well, you know what? It's the owner's fault.
No, can't do that.
No.
Got to take it on his own shoulders,
Well, I mean, you only have to look at it. Anyone speaks out about anyone, they're gone, aren't they? And I think LFC without Klopp, under the current tyrants that we've got, it gives me fears.
He's the glue holding it all together, Jurgen Klopp, in my view.
We would have never been successful. We'd have never been successful if we'd had Tuchel or Pochettino or any, because even Guardiola couldn't build a team on what we have, the buy to sell and all this.
No, you're right, Francine. I mean, it's an incredible period of success he's generated. I mean, to be honest, he's made himself into a legend. Also, people that have met him, I've not met him. I'd love to meet him, but I haven't. But the people that have met him say to me that he's what you see is what you get. He's exactly as he comes across. He's no side. He's no, and he pays attention to what you're saying. And I've spoke to, Chris Carlyle at Shankly Hotel and a lot of other people, and they've all said the same to me. He's just a decent human being.
Yeah.
As well as a great manager.
Well, that's why he's made for Liverpool LFC then, isn't it? So my dad wanted me to say, Klopp has definitely been lied to by FSG the way he hasn't been backed by FSG. I can see him walking the end of the season. What do you think, Marios?
Yeah, that's a tough call. Lied to, yeah. The way he wasn't backed by FSG. I have said before, and I have said many times that this will be a crucial season for Jurgen. I can see him walking. Yes, I can see him. If the season go not so well, the reason why would be the loss of the lack of investment. So, yeah, I think that will mean ambition difference between the two sides, between the manager and the club, the board. Jürgen, he renewed his contract because he was believing in himself and in the potential of the team and the potential of the project. If he didn't believe to this, he would not renew the contract. But if he realized, if he will realize that his ambition is not in the same level of the ambition of the board, maybe that would be the turning point for in his mind. I think Jürgen will not find it so difficult for him to decide. He's a German guy, a straightforward thinking man. If he decides that it's time to leave, he will do it. He will not stay put at his position. So I think I totally believe this is a crucial season for Jürgen's tenure. It's not real. It is realistic to see him walking at the end of the season.
I also think, Francie, like Tommy Batty always says, he thinks Jürgen is at the same time as building the squad, trying to leave a legacy for when he does leave, bringing players like Doak through and other players like some of the young players we saw last night. So he's thinking forward to that. But like Manos, I don't think he'll leave before the end of his contract unless something disastrous happens in terms of the results. And then he can stand up and say he's not being supported. But even with the squad we've got, I'm firmly believe we'll be pushing up there in the top 4 at least. We've got enough quality in our squad already, in my view. If we just build the back 4 a little bit to get where we need to be, with that extra push to the title, we need investment. The Jürgen won't quit.
What's it say about Mark Jones?
Mark Jones says, I've not been worried about any season kickoff since Jürgen arrived. I am now, though. The defence wasn't good throughout last season, despite all the focus on our poor midfield. The backup we have isn't great either. Gomez, Simicast, etc. The issues are clear as day, yet there's no sense of urgency at all.
Yeah.
Agree with that.
I'm also worried. Yes, I'm also worried. Remember last year in the first game against Fulham, we didn't win, and there was already a toxic and problematic atmosphere inside the team. There is a strange atmosphere inside the fans. So if we don't go that well against Chelsea, especially if we lose against Chelsea, the atmosphere will be really, really strange, and why not toxic?
Our away form was poor as well last season, and God knows how many away games we've got to play before the Anfield roads, where they can allow games to play, isn't it? I mean, we could be 5 games in, couldn't we?
Yeah, we've got a tough start to the season. We've got Newcastle as well away, haven't we? We need to be fighting for every game is vital. Every game's tough in the Premier League.
Well, John Neal comes out with a good point here. Hi, Frank and panel. If FSG don't care about their hometown club, Red Sox, what makes anyone think they'll pony up for the Reds? Great way. Keep it up. That's nice. Thank you, John. God, I was just going to ask the people, to press the like button because I'm on number 13. I said, well, the people, but anyway, it's just gone up to 14. I'm made up with that. 13 is very unlucky for some, especially us, especially me. Oh, that's lovely. Richard Hutchinson, he says, look, likes, comments, share and subscribe. Thank you, Richard. You're so nice. Thank you. Anfield Raw. Good point again. Batic abductor injury being out since March 20.
It's a bad one, yeah.
Do you think he'll be... Well, I say, boys, I know I'm going to... It's something. Let's see what Steve Evans says. But I've got a question for you. Schumacher's living it up in Ibiza on his laptop and spends most of his time
in
in amnesia.
Raven.
I remember you talking, Rentman says, "You're director of F4."
Well, he's invisible.
remotely.
The invisible man.
He works remotely.
Yeah. You know, here's a question for you, and the lads on here, and if there's any girls as well. Who is your? I'm going right to you, Marios.
Yeah.
And then over to you, George. And here's the question. I'm starting from the front. Who would your 3 for Sunday against Chelsea? Marios.
Mo, Gakpo, and Diaz.
We don't see it. As he said.
Yeah, Mo, Gakpo, and Diaz.
Okay, George.
I would say Salah, definitely. I would say Jota and Diaz.
Yeah.
Okay, fancy.
Yeah, also Jota's exception on this.
I'd go for Salah, Gakpo, and I'd go for Jota.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
But what about even? All right. What if Gakpo was playing a false 9? Would you have him in place of him? You know, in the forward line, the front 3. Say.
Oh, so he's playing. Well, he's have Diaz, Mo, and Gakpo.
Yeah.
Gakpo.
No, easily. Yeah. Right.
Oh, sorry. And Jota. So he'd have all the 3. Jota's been on form, hasn't he? Pre-season.
Yeah.
He's
Played
been
really
great.
well.
Yeah.
He's been great. He knows where the goal
Richardson.
is, doesn't he? That's the most important thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the most important thing. He just knows where the goal is. If he sees
And he's
the
good
way
at
to go,
heading as well.
yeah, he'll just hit it. He'll just hit it. If he sees a champ, bang, he'll hit it.
Do you know what?
No one mentioned Nunes. No one
No, I
mentioned
think
Nunes.
yeah.
No.
And even though he's been on form as well, hasn't he?
Well, if he comes
Okay.
on and starts scoring goals, he'll be in the team, won't
Yeah.
he? If he comes on and he starts scoring goals, he'll
absolutely, yeah.
scoring goals. That's what we signed him for. Score goals.
Do you know, for seasons since Coutinho, I've been crying out for someone to score outside the 18-yard box. And yesterday I saw McAllister take a shot. I mean, he never scored, but I loved it because that's what I've been crying for. Just someone to take a shot outside the
He
area.
will.
Yeah.
And Gakpo will. Gakpo will. He will.
Yeah,
And
Gakpo, yeah.
Szoboszlai.
So was
You got 3
so will
players. Have a
I
go.
was like,
Yeah.
he'll have a go. I'm going to ask you there. Okay, before I ask you the second question, you know, for midfield, don't answer that yet. What do you think of Szoboszlai up to now, George?
Well, I think he's great. I think he's going to be a really, really good addition for the team. He's strong, he's fast, he goes forward. He's not frightened of hard work. He tackles well. He's got the expertise, international player. We got him for 35 million, a steal as far as I'm concerned. You know, so yeah, I've got great confidence both in him and McAllister. Not a problem. Both good players. Both will do a great job.
Yeah.
But McAllister's been getting mentioned more. That's why I said, what you think of Szoboszlai? And I'll go to Marios. What do you think of Szoboszlai?
Yeah, he's getting better and better, and he brings to the team attributes that we didn't have, like, you know, shot from long distance. That was something we really missed a lot, because we have said many times that we haven't scored outside the box for so many years, maybe. And so this is a new attribute in the team. He seems to really fit to the team, the same as McAllister. Yes, of course. I think he will get better and better when he gets more and more experience in the Premier League. Also, that's why the only thing he misses, but I think he will be fine for us.
in the Premier League.
I,
Also,
and this is my opinion. I think he's great. You can see how good he is. You really
yeah,
can,
you can see
because he's not afraid. If he thinks
he's not
someone's going
afraid.
to get
Yeah,
away from
great.
him, he'll just, no matter where he is on the field, and he goes quietly. By the way, I'll tell you who
Yes.
he reminds me of. And I go back to Ronnie Whelan here. I go back to Ronnie Whelan and the likes of Peter Cormack. You know, you'd hardly seen them, but they were so good, whatever they did.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Ronaldo was the same sort of player. You know, he hardly came into the equation during games, but, you know, you knew that he'd been in a game, if you know what I mean. It's hard to explain. It really is. I think I'll back up well.
He uses the ball well, Frank. He uses the ball well, finds a man with the ball. Shankly always used to say, the ball never gets back. So keep passing it to you.
His corners are good.
Yeah.
He takes good corners. I mean, you know, our wing backs or whatever they are, they've been taking our corners, and you know, he does a good ball in.
Yeah.
So and I think having the likes of Jota and things like that, they'll capitalise off that. Mane would have loved him.
Yeah.
Steve Evans, he says, I've got us on, I don't know what I've got us on here, but he says, my starting 11. I don't want to say what his starting 11 is, because I want to go over to our Francine. Did I ask you
the midfield?
Yeah.
I would play McAllister, obviously. Szoboszlai. I've got to learn how to say his name. Would be a good one, wouldn't it?
That's right. I think that's right. Szoboszlai. Yes, that's right.
Szoboszlai. Yeah, well, I do say it now, but then I think I had another vowel or vowel.
Well, she actually said to me, I don't speak Hungarian, you know that. So I can't pronounce his name.
Neither do I.
Szoboszlai.
So big to me, to be honest. Go on, Francis.
I'd like to
tell us the third one.
I'd like to put Trent in midfield, but I don't think that's going to happen. So I'd probably risk. I'd probably risk Curtis Jones. Wouldn't you put him in?
I think he'll play McAllister as the DM.
Yeah, he'll play McAllister, and then he'll have.
Me too.
He'll have Szoboszlai, and I don't know.
So what do you think, George? Who's your three midfield?
Well, definitely Szoboszlai and definitely McAllister as a number 6. As he's been trying to get him in there. And then, I mean, what about Gakpo? You know, where's he going to fit? Is he fit?
False 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, put him in there, yeah. I mean, to be honest, Curtis Jones earned his position by his performances last year, but he's been quiet in the pre-season friendlies.
I know.
You know, and Trent again, I would think he would play midfield. That was the whole point of that experiment at the end of the season. And problem I've got though is what happens behind him.
Well, this is the point, isn't it? You know, if you move one up, we've got no one to replace it back. And then we mentioned Gomez, didn't we, at right back, and that's not a done thing either, is it?
No.
But I was going on.
Unless Trent's allowed to go free up the wing from fullback, he's going to be wasted, because he's not a fullback, a traditional fullback. He's like a winger. Everything he ever does is crossing the ball onto the head or putting a brilliant pass through. Or he does nothing in defence. I mean, anybody could do what you do in defence, tackle people and shadow people out to the line. What Trent's talent is being creative, like De Bruyne. And that's what he did in the last 10 games last year. It was fantastic. So I'd like to see him starting there. And Gakpo behind the front three with McAllister and Szoboszlai.
Do you remember the second goal we conceded against Bayern? It was Gnabry alone at the wing, no one out there, because Trent was in the middle, was in the center.
That's the problem.
There was no one at the right wing, so that's a problem in the new system. The new system will not fit to all the games.
Yeah, and Chelsea could exploit that.
Oh,
Yeah,
they
of
will
course.
exploit it. They'll exploit it. Won't they? I mean, United tried to do it. Man City do it every time. Anyone with a bit of pace and they're away from Trent. And it's not that he can't tackle back. It's just that, as you say, he's too far upfield to run back. And then he just leaves that gap.
Yeah. And what happens if Trent is injured?
Yeah. Yeah. Ian McKenna says Klopp could walk if he is not supported by the owners, and I'm usually optimistic. But, and this is it, you know. Okay, what about, I'll go to our Francine first.
Okay.
No, it's not again, because I go to George and Marius. You always leave you to the last to catch up with the lads. I'm going to you first now. So, who's your back four, BB?
Well, it's going to have to. Well, it's going to be Robbo, Trent, Canate, and Van Dijk.
Okay. George.
Yeah, I was going to.
It's going to
have to be. It's going to have to be. Yeah, Robbo left at the left back of the four, then Van Dijk, Canate, and Trent, or Gomez if Trent's going midfield.
Okay.
Yeah.
When Mario,
No changes. No change.
And it just you don't. Yeah, I don't think Matter should play for that. I think he's awful.
No.
I blame him for two of them goals by Bayern.
Bayern.
Was it Bayern or that other team? I don't know who it was. Not much.
Does it worry you conceding so many in pre-season?
Yeah,
definitely.
Because you see the vulnerability there, and it's still there. He's done nothing about it.
If we can close up the defence and tighten up the defence and tactically sort that out, everything else should fall into place. We'll score loads of goals. But I don't want to be sort of scoring 4 goals and losing 5.
Well, someone said, didn't he, before on one of the comments, we could end up like Kevin Keegan's Newcastle.
Yeah.
And it's as simple as that. Even under the, I think it was Rafa, where we scored loads of goals, but we were conceding goals as well.
That's what lost us the league in 2009, wasn't it? Goal difference.
No, it was 4 points.
4 points.
Yeah, we drew 2.
Oh, with Stoke and West Ham.
Yeah. Steve Evans
need to keep clean sheets. That's the key to the whole thing. Alisson's got to keep clean sheets. You won't lose if you don't lose goals.
This is why the defence needs. The defence really needs.
Chainsaw there.
I don't know. Noise coming from somewhere.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry about that noise. It's coming. Can you hear that noise? No,
I did before, yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Anyway, I'm sorry about that. Jason's not here to. But anyway, Neil Broderick. No, Ian McKenna, Klopp could walk if he's not supported by the owners, and I'm usually optimistic, and that frightens me. And I think that's a brilliant comment, to be honest. I think this season Klopp is going to go all out attack and totally rely on it. If we score 2, we score 3. I'm sorry about this noise, it's getting on my nerves.
It must be Tommy. It's probably Tommy, Frank.
Yeah, most probably, unfortunately. I think it's Jason's just texting. I won't be there.
Do you want to read that?
Yeah.
I think this season Klopp is going to go out all out attack and totally rely on if you score 2, we will score 3. It looks like Southampton have held out for 50 million and you can't blame them. Mark my words, the day after the window closes, FSG will announce major investors, then the smoke screens. If we start slow, we'll be all about big signings in January. Well, that's it, and they love it. They love a January signing as well, don't they?
Yeah. Jason's just put me right. He said, "Is your phone near the mic?" I said, "Yeah." And he went,
Move it away.
"Move it," and it's still going. So I think the way we're going at the moment, and I'm really surprised about this war chest. I really am. We can't get anything right, unfortunately, but it's been going on for far too long now. It really is. It's been going on far too long. And Ian, it's hard to walk away from 15 million a year, and that's what Klopp's on. So our answer here on this is not soft. They're not soft. They know the score. The awakened Phoenix says LFC going crazy about Lavia. You already have an 18-year-old who got injured last season and now penning all hopes on a 19-year-old. And he laughs at that. He laughs at it. He actually laughs at it.
Because they need experience around them.
Yeah, of course they need a hardened,
I mean,
defensive mid. Go.
The thing is, when Suarez came to Liverpool, and we had the likes of Sterling and Coutinho, and he taught them and he influenced them on how to play, and he made them better players.
Yeah.
Who are these young kids who were replacing with seasoned players? Who have they got to look up to step into their shoes? That's the thing. Someone said before, we're going to put all this hope on this 19-year-old lad who's going to come in to Anfield, which is like a cauldron, and it's a lot of pressure and a lot of to put on such a young lad. And if he has a bad game, you'll know about it from the cop, and the lads.
Yeah.
And but he's got no influence. We've got about loads of forwards, and they can all look at Salah and look up to him. The young lads can look up to Van Dijk, and but we've got no one in midfield to go, well, he's a seasoned professional. Look up to him. Henderson looked up to Gerrard, didn't he, as well?
Yeah. Their potential is in danger.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Well, Stephen Evans says Gerrard not good enough to manage Liverpool. Forget about him taking over if Jaeger was to walk. These effing Yanks need to walk. The Americans. I think. Have a look at this one. Kaiser's passport was found at the weekend behind Michael Edwards' sofa. It's been discovered he's older than John Barnes. And Redford says, Alfred, maybe is allergic to English grass.
Yeah. Hey, did you see when the boys left, Frank? When the boys left at the end of the season, they did a presentation on the pitch, and it gave them all these photographs of the greatest moments.
Yeah.
And somebody mocked up Keita's with X-rays, pictures of X-rays. I thought it was genuine.
Who bought him? I just wonder who bought him. We paid 52
It was
million.
Edwards, wasn't it?
Was it? Are you sure?
It
never said, get over there, this lad's.
What's he
But
looking
he
good on
has a
YouTube?
really good. It's all about statistics, isn't it? And he has really good. I can't even say the word statistics. And he's never injured. They all come to Liverpool and get injured.
No, I remember you, Francie, saying to me, we're buying a player named Keita from Leipzig, was it?
Yeah.
Leipzig. And he's been out nearly all the season with a bad injury.
How did I?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go.
And we signed him. We lent him back, and he'd been out most of the season. Then we brought him in, and he's been injured ever since. He's still injured now, isn't he? Whoever he plays for.
Yeah. So Sabina.
I'm not very optimistic this season. I fear Klopp could go if he's not getting backed from the owners.
Yeah.
We've been saying that all the time, Ian. And John Smith, it's a bit of a worry, the injury side of things. And to be fair, if not Lavia, one of the midfielders would we go for, all running a bit too thin.
Well, it's towards the end of the transfer window. Everyone's getting snapped up left, right, and centre, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm just going to go through these quickly, if you don't mind, gents.
Yeah, and then I will go, guys.
Have you got to go, did you say?
Yeah, after this, yes.
Oh, yeah. These podcasts are so popular because of the diversity of opinions, say Stevenson.
Yeah, that's really nice. That's true.
Ten Hag spent more money in one window than Klopp's next spend over 5 seasons, says Neil Broderick.
And the Man United fans are still going to have a protest, aren't they, over the Glazers?
You bought a goalkeeper that couldn't save a ball from 50 yards, went over his head into the net.
Do you know what annoys me, though, 2 years old, is people who say, get behind the team. I think we're more passionate than these people, who say get behind the team, because we're behind the team and we want a better team. We want some investment to get in there to bring in the best players.
When you love something that much, you are the top criticizer.
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
And we're renowned. Liverpool's renowned on both sides as a footballing city. So you do, don't you? You when, as you say, when you're passionate about something, you will criticise or have an opinion or feel. It's all emotive, isn't it?
Yes.
What about this one from Richard Hutchinson? Gomez, Kanate, Matip and Virgil vulnerable in defence.
Well, it would be if you played those 4 together.
Yeah, absolutely. We are all plastic fans unless you're so-called top reds like Redmen TV and others. Whoever called them top reds needs slapping, says Redbird. I agree with you because I've said this all along, Redbird. No one speaks for me. No one speaks for George. No one speaks for Marius. No one speaks for Francine. We all speak for ourselves collectively. And if there's opinions out there, like, you're all putting opinions up, that's great. Because we all have different opinions.
Yeah.
But, I've seen no one come on any of the podcasts that we've done, George and Marius. No one's slagging us off. Not one. No. Because at least we speak from here. That's where we speak from. The heart.
And one thing we've all got in common. One thing we've all got in common is we love Liverpool Football Club and we're passionate about the club.
Of course. But you played for them. So
I've been watching them for 63 years. Played for them for 5.
Exactly. So no one can argue with you and call you a plastic.
The greatest manager who ever lived.
But people would. This is the problem.
I've got my Shankly jacket on.
Yes, he's got a Shankly jacket.
I've got one as well. Didn't fit me now.
No, I
recognise it. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's true.
Should have his name on the back.
It's falling apart now. But I don't like the new pipe one, so I still wear it.
I got to go, guys and girls.
Oh, okay, Mario.
I don't know.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Dave with Richard.
See you next week.
Bye.
Thank you so much. See you next week. Yeah.
Bye.
Prossimo settimane. That's Italian. See you next week. That's all. And Charlie Woods. I remember Middlesbrough. Hello. I remember Middlesbrough having a great new stadium. Stadiums don't win trophies. That's spot on, that.
But it brings in revenue.
Yeah. And David Westhead, good friend of mine, David. Many years ago, I seen firsthand how sly these Americans were. Frank, they reduced the wage bill of the staff by 20%. I do know.
Well, you only have to look at Furlough, don't you? The Furlough Jordan thingy, they tried to whatever they done. What did they do?
And the fans all walked out, didn't they, when they tried to raise the wages?
Yeah. Well, that's it.
Ticket prices.
Stephen Snape says Francine is bang on the money. There's an increase in scepticism surrounding FSG. Even those who previously advocated their transfer strategy are now seeing straight through them. Enough is enough. And I'm just going through these. Liverpool got rid of Keita, Ox, Fabinho, Henderson, leaves, and we're looking vulnerable in midfield, says Richard.
Yeah.
And Redbird says, Frank, I'm so glad Jamie told us about your channel. It's defo out there with the best. Thank you so much, Redbird.
It's nice.
I really appreciate that. I really do. I'm not lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm not lovely. Thank you so much. I just want to go through a few more of these. Robert Blundell, if FSG doesn't have ambition for their hometown club, the Boston Red Sox, why do you think they were? Yeah, exactly.
Somebody else said that.
Someone else said that, Robert. Someone else said that, mate.
Yeah.
Keith Taylor. Do you think if Jürgen spoke out against the owners, would they have the bottle to sack him? That's a cracker, that. I wish I would have seen that a while back when Marios was here.
Yeah.
I know. What do you think, George? I don't think they would have the bottle.
Don't you?
I don't think they'll have the ball to sack him, no. I can't. The only way they would ever get away with sacking Jurgen is if we went into a real bad spiral of results. A real bad spiral of results. He's got enough in the bank.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Oh, Christ. I don't think I'd worry about Salah exit. I think the onus is more on Salah, not the other way around. See, the way I look at the Salah thing, I'm being honest, the way I look at the Salah thing is this. He's a Muslim. He's from the Middle East.
Yeah.
And he's on about 350 cow here. And they've only got to sit. Now, he's idolised. No matter where in the Middle East he'll go, he can go to Afghanistan, if you know what I mean. Oh, but yes, he's Egyptian. He could go anywhere. They love him in Iran. They love him in Iraq. Everywhere. When we beat Tottenham in the final over there in Madrid, I've got the shirt on here. The shirt on. When we beat them over there in Madrid, I was watching videos, and the video shows Iraqis all in this big tent. Iraqis, they love Mo Salah.
Yeah.
And I used to stream, I don't stream anymore, but I used to stream the games. And I used to get the Arab ones on. And the only name that came out was Mo Salah. Yeah. And, you know, you could hear the passion of the commentators. I don't know where about because it was all Arabic, where these people were from. Could have been anywhere in the Middle East. But they love Mo Salah. And I think, you know, the rights offer, if they put in, say, like, if the Saudis put in a 100 million, I think the owners would sell them. I really do.
Yeah. Not for 100 million.
No, I'm just saying. No, I know he's worth more because they can afford more. But what I'm saying, George, if they can actually put in a bid, they would sell him for 100 million. Honestly, they would sell him. They would sell him.
Well, it would be suicidal. It would be suicidal.
Of course, it would be suicidal.
We'd never replace him, ever.
Bronsos,
we got him for what, 40 million or 35 or something.
Yeah.
Never.
And he never did much at Chelsea, did he?
No.
Plenty of
Jurgen Klopp.
Plenty
Sorry,
of clubs out there. I'm going to tackle you, George. I'm going to box you. I'm coming in with a heavy tackle. I'm coming in with a Tommy Schmidt.
I'm going to go and get my Horlicks. I'm going to go get my Horlicks, Frank. Go on.
Plenty of clubs out there, better lead and managed, better led. Better led and managed, and with deeper pockets. He won't stay if there's no belief. And right now in Liverpool, there's little belief. Ooh, that's a cracker. That.
I wouldn't go as low as that, to be honest.
That's a really good point from that lad, Bronsos. What do you think about Darwin Núñez finishing position and not ruthless enough up front, says Richard?
I think he can. He's got the makings. It's just his finishing, and it looks like he's a rabbit in headlights. You know, when he looks up and he's at the goal, it looks like he goes, "Oh my God, what do we do now?"
Yeah.
Some of the positions he can get in is amazing, but then he gets there, and then it's like, reminds me a bit of a Barosh.
Barosh got stick. I thought he was all right. He scored the odd few goals.
He's got to calm down in front of goal.
Yeah. That bit says Klopp does have faults. That is, he hangs on to his players too long, and his tactics at times are questionable. That said, he was made for Liverpool, and he shows his love for our great club and all us fans.
Yeah.
Excellent point.
But then again, he's the same as Shankly there, Frank. Exactly what Shankly did. He held on to players too long.
Yeah.
And he had to change it when they got beat by Watford in 1971. And then he got his new players, Keegan and Toshak and all the rest of them. But the team is fading and he kept them too long. Just he says about Klopp.
Klopp has a plan. Keep the faith, people, says Redbird.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. Well, we all keep the faith, don't we? Albeit that we do our, have opinions, and we have to keep the faith. Good point. Klopp needs his legacy, but also investments and commitments. That's another great point. And the Anfield Roar says, if the likes for Frank or Marios is going to show us his white bits. There's a lad coming in, shaving out. Always a pipe from Frank. Cracker, thank you, Steve. If anyone starts hating on my number 9, I'm off. I'm sick of people dissing him constantly. They all do is concentrate on negativity. He must see the hate on, so I feel for the guy. But I think he's going to be oh, good God.
Yeah.
To be honest, Redbird, we know that he's going to make an impact this season. We just know it, we feel it. And I think that he'll be coming off the bench more, if you like. And if anything happens to Jota or whoever else, even Gapco, he'll be playing. Yeah. You know, and he's only got to have a little run, that's all.
Scored 14 goals last year anyway.
Yeah, he did.
Well, and he played. He's played well pre-season as well, hasn't he?
Yes. Yeah, he has.
But it's still have Jota ahead of him.
Yeah.
What a name that is there, look. Lazio Panaflex. Hello, Lazio.
Laszlo.
It's not. It's not.
It's Laszlo.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Laszlo Panaflex.
Sorry, Laszlo Panaflex. I'm sorry. Yes, I thought it was a lad from Rome who supports Lazio. I can't see the L's. I get mixed up. I've got dyslexia, I think.
Sure you have.
But what do you think? Yeah, there's a girl.
Moan. Get a grip and wait until the transfer window shuts. Then complain if you must.
No.
Well, next week we're going to be talking about football, Frank. Next week we've got a game to talk about. Chelsea.
Well, this is
when we come on Tuesday night. We won't be talking about
Yeah.
transfer then, will we, for that one? We'll be talking about
No.
what happened on Sunday and what needs to happen
And why
in
it
Bournemouth
happened.
and why it happened.
And why it
And
happened.
hopefully it'll be good news. I don't see why we should fear Chelsea. They finished 13th last year.
Yeah. What I don't know what Redbeard says. What I like about you, Frank, is that you're Frank. Thank you so much.
Redbird.
Thank you. I like that. I like that. I really do. But, you know, getting back to what Barbara said, yeah, you know, that's fine. We're all up here. This is all our opinions and whatever. No matter who it is, whether it's about Jürgen, whether it's about Darwin, whether it's about anybody, I even think about the likes of Robertson. I think he's lost it. I really do.
I think he's been worked too hard when he was young.
Yeah. I think he's, he's slowed down.
How many games on the trot didn't he break?
64.
Not breaking record, but he done loads of games on the trot, didn't he? And you know, that's got to wear your legs. I mean, I think even Michael Owen, didn't he, in his book, slate Liverpool because they said he overplayed him when he was 17, and hence why he had to retire young and all that because his legs had gone.
Right.
But I mean, it's like, but you were in the news that much, and you played for England, and you were great against Argentina. Would he have liked to have been dropped when he was 17, 18? That's another, you know.
Yeah.
What do you think of John Smith there? He says, good point, that, Frank. It's hard to determine. As the son of a Caribbean parents, I would never even have considered your point in the same way about John Barnes as a prime example. Absolutely. But this is, it's like, if you go back to the likes of Barnsley, and, you know, I think he's Jamaican, wasn't he? Jamaican parents.
Yes, he was, yeah.
Born over there. And
yeah.
It's not the same as in the Middle East. The football isn't the same as in Jamaica, you know. And unfortunately, they haven't got the money either. But Saudi is totally different. The whole of the Middle East love him. All of them. You know, they support other teams as well. So, you know, if there's like Chelsea supporters or Manchester City supporters over there in the Middle East, which they are, obviously, Man United, they love Mo Salah, if you know what I mean. You see, so I think it's a good point you made, but totally different. Well,
I have to go.
I know. I'm going to close now. I just want to say.
He's doing a Ken Dodd. He's doing a Ken Dodd tonight.
I know. I'm in work in the morning.
She's a mental health nurse, and do you know what she said to me, George?
What?
I'm going to have a field day with you, Dad. Realism, Gerard, hang on. Start up and Obi Finest. Hey, Star Wars, is it? I won't blame FSG because I remembered the last owners and the jokers of a club we were. Now look at us, and no more 30 years wait. I'm grateful, though. I know more is needed, yes. And on that fine note,
optimistic note for the season. Well done.
Yeah, it says I've got a headache. Our Francine's got to go home.
Yeah,
and,
I'm going to go get my Horlicks.
Yeah. George's Horlicks is going cold.
Yeah.
Gone. So it's just for me to say, all you Red fans, thank you so much for tuning in as usual. I'll be back on Thursday night with the other panel, and I'll see you all then. Thank you so much, and thank you for all everything. Thank you so much, people.
Good night, Francine. Thanks very much. Fantastic. See you later. See you next week.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye.
See you later. Ta-ra, mate. That's us gone.